Okay, different lighting in here, different rooms, so I apologise if this hasn't come out very well, but it's only going into the group, it's not going to be released anywhere else. And if it's really bad, I'll do another one. Also, the acoustics are different here, and I'm not using the microphone. So. This is just a very quick video, sort of, to answer a couple of questions on the previous one, which is we answered on the previous video how to know if you're in a buyer's market. Very important. And the question is, how do you need to burrow down into that market once you've found your niche? Once you've found your market. Well, two ways of looking at this, and they both work depending on the niche. Traditionally, normally, evergreen niches like golf and health and things that are there all the time, they're always going to have new buyers entering the market, are normally very, very competitive for keywords. So if you're doing Facebook advertising, then it would cost you a fortune to compete with the big boys in, say, something like golf. Almost impossible. So the idea would be that you would break down in the niche a little bit by burrowing down into it. So you would say something like left-handed golfers. Much easier now to target left-handed golfers, and you can burrow down as far as you want and make a very, very highly targeted list of buyers. So you could go left-handed golfers, so that's one stage down into golf. You could go putters, so putting, a very big part of golf, and so you could go left-handed putters. So you've burrowed down several places now, and you've got a much easier market to get to. And of course, they're being cheaper, but also they're very, very highly targeted. So that they specifically what they're interested in. But the other way of looking at it is that certain niches, are what I call the shotgun approach. The differential here is that it's less targeted, but you also know that people are in, say, for weight loss, for instance, let's say you're in weight loss, that they are going to be interested in diets, they're going to be interested in exercise equipment, they're going to be interested in nutrition, they're going to be interested in different forms of exercise and the various other methods that there are out there to be able to lose weight or control weight. Now, you can target down into that again, or you can have a more generalized way of looking at it. And because this business model is not about creating a big website and trying to then drive traffic to the website, it's more about creating, well, what will be a newsletter, but I don't want to call it that. I might call it something like a weekly report or something like that. We're going to do it in a slightly different way than it's normally done. Most of it's going to be the same, but it's kind of like using different sort of terminology so that we're not seeming like old hat. So we'll talk about that as we, in future videos. But you can, if you had something like weight loss, you could actually make sort of like, imagine a well woman newsletter type thing coming out, or well man, is there such a thing as well man, but a general health type thing. Imagine that. You put something like several, maybe there'd be like 3 or 4 different articles in that, a couple of links to different affiliate products or whatever, some advertising. But they would, it wouldn't just cover one thing in that. So you would probably, might have something over here that's on a specialist sort of side of weight loss or whatever, and something over here on nutrition. So, maybe 3 articles or something with a few images. That's more of a shotgun approach, because what happens is if you'll build a list bigger that way, quicker, I should say, that way, because you're covering more subjects. But what will happen will be that when you market a product out, it won't appeal to all of your audience, and that's normally, would probably not be a good thing. But I think it still works, because what happens anyway is If your niche has got a larger umbrella and you haven't burrowed down into it initially, you will find that you will start to separate your list. So if someone buys weight loss equipment, and you immediately notice that they're active in that sort of area. So you can sort of break your list into several different lists and specialize that way. So you're still going to be targeting, but you're kind of doing it. You're grabbing imagine it being a big net and grabbing a whole load of fish and then separating them into the different species, or you just get a net that fits only one type of species. That's the kind of way, two ways of looking at it. And it really just depends on your niche and how you want to do that. We will talk about that a little bit more, because what I'll do is I'll pick out a couple of niches that I will work in specifically to build the business myself, and that's going to be in January. So as I do that, we'll pick one where we burrow down and one where we do a more of a shotgun approach and and have the bigger net. So I'll show you how both work, but that's the two ways of thinking on it. So think about the niche that you're entering and what's the easiest way that you can get to your market. Okay, I'll chat to you in my next video.